Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. I have a routine whenever I eat food, like a balanced plate of food, like a protein, a starch, or carbohydrate, and a vegetable. For me, I always eat the vegetable first because I want to get it out of the way. I don't like veggies. You guys know that already. I'm not a huge vegetable guy when it comes to food I like. There's some that I prefer more than others, and then there's some that I just absolutely cannot, I just don't want to eat. I despise. And I always try to eat them first before I have the good part of the food. That's what happened. I went out to dinner a couple nights ago. Went to this steakhouse. I got a ribeye steak, medium rare, how I normally get it. And then the sides, I had a mashed potatoes and broccoli. I know, pretty simple, like not the most extravagant sides. And normally, if I was feeling, myself more, I probably would not have gotten the broccoli. But I knew that day I needed to eat something green. So I'm like, you know what? Broccoli it is. I'll get the broccoli and I'll get the potatoes. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, like, well, that's two vegetables. Mashed potatoes and broccoli. But you got to understand, mashed potatoes and potatoes in general are not really like as healthy for you as other vegetables that we have. They're not as healthy as broccoli, not as healthy as spinach, kale, asparagus, lettuce, right? It's not as healthy as that. I don't know what it is. I guess it's because of the starch and everything that's like in it. And also like the potatoes were mashed. So they had like a lot of salt, they had a lot of butter, a lot of like milk in it potentially to make them, the way that they are. Now if it was just like a regular diced potatoes with some salt, and yeah, I guess you could say that'd be double veg, but it's more of a starch, I would say, than actually a veggie. So I'm at dinner. I get this plate of food. It's got the broccoli, the mashed potatoes, it's got the ribeye steak cooked to perfection, and I started to eat the broccoli first because, like I said, I like to get the bad stuff out of the way first, or the stuff that I enjoy the least amount out of the way. I just wanted to eat it all. And it was a pretty big serving of broccoli. I guess more broccoli than I would get, like, serve myself at my own home. It's a lot of broccoli. A lot of big pieces of broccoli. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to eat this all right now and then get into the good part of the dinner. And as I'm eating it, I'm getting a little full from broccoli. I'm not going to lie. Like, I started to get full. And I was like, this is kind of annoying. And I'm showing some big time weakness right now. I'm getting dominated by broccoli, which I never really eat. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why did I even order the broccoli? Why didn't I just order like a stupid salad or something like that? Like something simple. I'm such a fool. But I saw broccoli. I'm like, you know what? I've had broccoli in weeks. I haven't had a green in weeks. I better eat this right now. So I did. I ate the whole thing. It tasted terrible, but I felt better about myself. I felt like, okay, now I truly deserve this mashed potatoes and the steak because I just killed this entire portion of broccoli. And as I begin to eat the mashed potatoes and the steak, I'm like, this is so good. This is tremendous. I love it. I'm unable to finish my food. All because I ate too much broccoli. The healthy part of my brain activated. And I was like, it let me down today. Now, I'm a guy who likes to clean his plate and not take any leftovers, usually, for the most part. I took home some steak and mashed potatoes today, and man, it was embarrassing. I don't like taking leftovers home. I really don't. Sometimes I do, but most of the times I am there to complete a meal, I began this meal and I will end this meal. And I did not do that. That's the warrior mentality inside of me. I did not complete the job. I left the job uncompleted. And it broke my heart. Why? Because they gave me too much freaking broccoli. Now, I'll be honest with you. The broccoli tasted terrible. And I think a lot of people will agree with me on this, that broccoli tastes disgusting. It tastes like something a cow would enjoy, not a man like myself. I could envision like horses and cows and sheep and other herbivore animals, like farm animals, like enjoying broccoli so much. Me as a man, it's just not good. I don't like it. I don't want to eat it ever again. I know it's good for me. I'm sure like there's a lot of benefits that broccoli has. For one, it's green, which means it's already good. I mean, take a look at all the stuff that's good for you, right? Lettuce is good for you. That's green. Cabbage is good for you. That's green. Kale is good for you. That's green. Spinach is green. That's good for you. So it's like, it's only like, common sense that this is green. It must be good for me, So, I mean, I understand that I need to eat this stuff. However, I don't enjoy it. And I'm at the point in my life where I'm trying to seek the most enjoyment as possible. And that is just like a little bump in the road. I kid you not, it was a chore to eat this broccoli. It was difficult. And not just because it didn't taste good, but when you eat broccoli, all the little tree parts and branches that are on that little tree of broccoli, they get all over in your mouth, man. They get into your teeth. They get in between your gums. They get everywhere. You gotta rinse your mouth and swish it around while you're drinking your water. It is a chore to eat broccoli, at least for me. I mean, most people, eat it, right? They enjoy it. Some people even douse it with cheese to make it desirable. That to me is kind of cheating. If you're gonna have broccoli, right, and you're trying to be healthy, this is the thing that you eat for the healthier choice. It's not gonna make you super healthy just eating it one time, but it's a step in the right direction for a healthier diet is eating broccoli. If you're going to douse it with cheese, you're essentially just destroying all the health benefits that it gives you, right? I mean, because you're adding just dairy and fat onto the broccoli, which it's a vegetable, so that means it has zero fat whatsoever, right? I mean, I would assume so. Are there any fatty vegetables out there that you can even name? No. I mean, there's no fat on lettuce. There's no fat on broccoli. There's no fat on carrots. There's no fat on kale or spinach. There's no fat, right? So you're just putting cheese that has dairy, fats. It's probably super processed, and it's just kind of negating the healthy benefits that you try to, use with the broccoli. So I'm not a person that does that. Now, having it with a meal, just broccoli, steak, and potatoes that's a meal. That's a complete meal, at least in my opinion. That is something that I think is, at a certain point in life necessary for a man to eat is a basic, whole, complete meal. I mean, you got pretty much everything that you need, really. Maybe you could probably get more vegetables. Maybe instead of cake for dessert, you have an apple, right? Then that would be a complete meal for a healthy man, right? But I mean, I was at a restaurant. What am I going to do? Ask for an apple? No. Now you're going to order some cake, right? I'm at the point also, too, where nowadays I am eager to get that dessert menu. I'm eager to see what is on that menu. When I was a kid, I could not even ask for dessert. That was a huge no from mom and dad. Like, that dessert was not a thing that we had. We were not privileged enough to have dessert, you know? So I always grew up just saying no on dessert. Like, I'm not going to, I can't, I'm not allowed to. No dessert for me. Sorry, you can put that menu back. It's not for me. I don't eat dessert, apparently. As an adult now, I like to take a peek at that dessert menu pretty much every time, unless I truly overeat, which I did a few days ago. But if I don't overeat, you best be ready with that dessert menu, because like these desserts at these restaurants, man, are just like the best things that you could possibly get for such an overpriced amount of money. But you still do it anyway because it's like, I'm not going to have a Pizookie at home. I'm not going to have this gigantic brownie at my house with a side of ice cream. I don't have caramel drizzle in my refrigerator. I don't have like this homemade ice cream in my freezer. I don't have a lava cake that I can just make at my home. No, I don't have any of that, right? So you always go for the restaurant dessert menu, no matter matter how much it costs. You get that lava cake. When are you ever going to get lava cake? Probably never at home. You're never going to learn how to make one, even though you're like, oh, this was an amazing cake. I'm going to learn how to make it. No, you're not. No one is ever. How many of you actually fulfill something that you see and you have a spark of interest and you're like, yeah, I'm going to learn how to do that? Probably hasn't been a thing that you've actually accomplished since the pandemic years. Remember back in 2020 when we couldn't do anything and we were stuck at home? Restaurants were closed. Grocery stores were open for a certain amount of hours. Certain people couldn't go in at certain times. What did you do? You looked up things that you could do at home, right? One of the things that I did, I think a lot of people also did, was look up how to make pizza, which I did. And I actually put my mind to it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this pizza. And I did. It was like one of the times in my life where you get a spark of interest in something, building, baking, cooking, whatever it may be, and you actually complete it. I did that with pizza. Since then, the pandemic year, I haven't made a single pizza since then. I've had no interest. I've had no desire. I've had no reason to. When I have Domino's down the street, where there's a Little Caesars right on the corner, like I don't have a reason, and I'm not bored enough to want to buy materials, make dough, make pizza sauce, buy cheese, buy pepperoni, buy whatever toppings I want, knead the dough, flatten the dough in a circle, spread some sauce, sprinkle some cheese, and put on freaking whatever toppings I may want, set my oven to whatever temp it's supposed to be, put a pizza in there, and wait to make it. I don't have time, the patience, the interest, the desire to do that anymore. I don't. That time has passed. I will order from Domino's. I will get a hot and ready from Little Caesars, which is not as good as it used to be. I will get that rather than making my own pizza. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't go through the trouble, the trial and error to get the right amount of yeast into the dough and get it so it is not going to be super tough, and get it just right. Putting the sugar in and the salt in at the right time, getting either cold or hot water, whatever it says. Like I don't want to have to deal with that. Okay, I'm not a chef. I'm not Gordon Ramsay. That's not my profession. It's not something I really enjoy or care about. But I that time has long passed, and I really have no interest in doing that ever again. I can't believe I actually did that. I probably made about pizza maybe 4 or 5 times during that pandemic year. I mean, I haven't made any since that year. People have asked me too, hey, you ever gonna make pizza again? Hey, why don't you make it? No. The answer is no. I don't want to. I don't have time to. I don't have the patience. And I just think that I wouldn't even attempt it. I wouldn't put in that same effort as I did back then. I would not want to. Moving on to some sports news. The Super Bowl happened on Sunday. I hope everybody watched and had a good time. As good of a time as you could. The game was terrible. It was a bad game. For me, probably a very, very good game. No, most definitely a good game for Seahawks fans or people who betted on the Seahawks. But if you're a Patriots fan or you're somebody who bet on the Patriots, you had a miserable time. That would be me. I bet my buddy that the Patriots would win in this Super Bowl. And we lost collectively. I was a huge Patriots fan this past Sunday. And let me tell you this, I have never been more betrayed by a team since the Dodgers back in 2016, 2018, 19, those years when we were just pissing away World Series games. I mean, I cannot tell you how miserable I was watching this game. If you want to remember a team that never even stood a chance in a Super Bowl, you could say the 2014 Broncos when they got destroyed by the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. I think it was 48-8, something like that. This team would be on par with that team. Not as bad of a loss, but still pretty uninspired football was played. This team had no shot from the beginning. I know Seattle scored 4 field goals to begin the game. They were up 9-0 at halftime. They weren't playing great, but New England's offense had nothing going on. Absolutely nothing going on, and it was pitiful and sickening to watch. I can't tell you guys how many times that I yelled at the TV, at players that can't even hear me, at coaches that can't hear me, at plays that were called, at balls that were dropped, at balls that were overthrown, underthrown, completely missed targets. This was a bad game for the Patriots. Monumentally bad for the Patriots and for this team in general, and even for the 2025-2026 NFL season. It was eye-opening. Let me tell you, I can't think of a team in the most recent years that should not even have been in the Super Bowl more than this past year's or past season's New England Patriots team. This was a terrible, terrible team. Drake May, that guy, oh my God, I can't believe how bad this kid played. He looked like at one point that he wanted to cry. He missed a guy wide open. He was so mad at himself. He was he was yelling. Mike Vrabel was yelling. It's oh my God. I was yelling. It was a part where I was I can't even watch this anymore. You guys need to be playing for me. and you're not playing for me at all. You're not even playing for yourself at that point. I mean, I can't tell you exactly which play it was, but it was one where the guy was wide open up the middle, and he had him in his hands, and it just incomplete. And I was just like, what is going on? Is the offense just unable to click? Is the defense really that good? But there was so many times where they had guys open, and this kid, Drake May, just didn't see him, threw it too late, overthrew, underthrew. It's just like, this guy is blowing this game for these guys. And they even cut to like a shot of the defense. Like, they turn the ball over and they just sink. They just like throw their hands up in the air. They hang their heads. It's like, oh my, I could not believe that they showed that. In football, we all know, us football watchers, there's 3 teams: offense, defense, special teams. The defense for the New England Patriots did everything that they could to give their offense every chance in the world to come back in this game. Every chance. And they could not put up any points. And if I'm the defense, if I'm watching the defense give that late reaction to a late turnover, I am totally with them on that. They did all they could. Christian Gonzalez was playing out of his mind. He was keeping them single-handedly in this game for some plays. The defense was doing all they possibly could to give them a chance, and the offense just couldn't do anything. And that, for a defense, is demoralizing more than your offense, like, like at least being able to move down the field and not cashing in at the end, or getting just field goals, right? They couldn't do anything for like 3 quarters. It was unbelievable. I mean, as someone who put money on the Patriots, it was hard to watch. It was very hard to watch. It was one of the worst games we've had. It was like a really bad game. Super Bowl before this one was also very bad. So we've had a couple years now. We've had some bad Super Bowls, like really, really bad Super Bowls. Not good. And the Seahawks won. Congratulations, Sam Darnold won. Happy for that dude's story, his career, the comeback, redemption, whatever you want to call it. Happy for that. It's always cool to see that type of thing happen. But I'm also very sad because I lost money on this. It was only $50, but I also could have had $50 more. Yeah, so that was a tough one to swallow. The Seahawks, they looked like they were, decent enough to win the Super Bowl. They were able to score 4 or 5 field goals. So they I mean, it was just like it was embarrassing how little the Patriots could do. Also, how little the Seahawks could do, but still end up with just a huge lead still, and like no real chance for New England to win that game. No real chance at all. Like there was points where I'm like, can we just bench Drake May? Like this is not working out at all. Like he's missing guys left and right. Like this we might need to change our quarterbacks because we have no answers. We can't do a thing. We can't move the ball up the field at all. At some point, they couldn't even get first downs. They were just 3-and-out, 3-and-out, 3-and-out. I was like, this is a Super Bowl, guys. Like, what on earth are we doing? We need to be competing, and we ain't even doing that. We're not even trying at this point. So it's just embarrassing. It's hard to watch as a Patriots fan for this day. It was unbearable to watch. I can't only imagine how bad it would be for actual like die-hard Patriots fans. I mean, that's got to be a tough watch. But what pissed me off even more though was that, I mean, I was royally pissed. We could have beaten the Patriots. Like, the Los Angeles Rams could have beaten the Patriots. We could have been Super Bowl champions if we beat the Seahawks. We were the only team that even challenged the Seahawks all year. If we win the NFC Championship game, we win the Super Bowl easily. I mean, this is just, I was even more furious about that. Like, the what if aspect. Like, if the Rams beat the Seahawks, we win the Super Bowl. It's that simple. Like, I mean, the play calling even on the Seahawks wasn't even that good. I mean, the play calling for the Patriots was even worse. Like, if we win against the Seahawks, we win the Super Bowl. I mean, if you think about it, anybody from the NFC could have been the Patriots. We could have, the 49ers could have, the Eagles could have, the Bears could have, the Packers could have, the Panthers. They could have beaten the Patriots. I mean, you look at the Patriots, right? Have you looked at their schedule from last season? Look who they played. Look who they beat. Look at their path in the playoffs. I mean, listen, I don't want to undermine their journey to get to the Super Bowl, but like, I know you got to play who you got to play, but like, who's in front of you? But like, I mean, just look at that schedule, man. Go back and see who they played, who they beat, and which coaches were fired from those teams. Go back and look. You'll see. This could have been the biggest fraudulent team to ever represent the AFC in a Super Bowl ever. I'm telling you, bro. Anybody from the NFC could have beaten the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Anybody. And that pisses me off. Like I said, I'm royally pissed. So that was the Super Bowl. There was also a halftime show starring Bad Bunny. I don't like Bad Bunny's music. I don't listen to it. I don't care for it. A lot of people like it. That's freaking cool. I watched the halftime show. It was not for me. It was all right production-wise. It was kind of cool to look at. It was creative. It was pretty cool. I don't think it would have been good to see live. I did see videos of how it looked live, and it looked pretty bad. Because just like the scenery and the props that they used kind of obstructed the view of the performers a little bit. And the fact that it's not in a dome, right? So you can't turn off the lights and make it like a whole light show performance type of thing. It kind of makes it it doesn't pop as much. You know what I'm saying? Like, it happened too with the Los Angeles Super Bowl when the Rams won, when it was like all the Los Angeles-based rappers, right? That one was cool music-wise. I like that one a lot for music, but production was just like, because it was just so like boring and everything was like lit up because, it's a SoFi Stadium is a dome, air quotes, but like the roof is just glass, so it just sun gets in and all that. But like Bad Bunny, it's not for me. So I mean, like, it was whatever. I didn't really care for it. I didn't think it was the worst thing ever. Just not really for me. Like, the music wise, I mean, there's a couple cool beats, but like not really like my music I listen to. Jessica Alba was in the part of the performance, which was pretty cool. I saw that. I was like looking at these people that were dancing. I'm like, wait a minute, is that Jessica Alba? That's freaking cool. Jessica Alba was like it still is very hot. Was like even like way hot back then too. Especially when she was in Fantastic Four. It's like, whoa, that's freaking cool. Jessica Alba. Badass. All right, Boney. All right, that's cool. But for the most part, I didn't really care for it at all. Sticking with sports, the Olympics are going on right now. I've been watching them a lot on this on the Peacock. It's pretty cool. They got this streaming channel on there called Gold Zone. It's like got all these events that are going on at the same time, and they go back and forth between like hockey to luge to curling to figure skating. And it's really awesome because like you actually get to see like, sometimes they'll go to a quad box where they got like 4 screens of events that are happening right at that moment. So I'm getting like curling, like I said, skating, speed skating, skiing, all that happening at once, which is like a dream come true. Like, remember when you were younger and you could just like watch one channel of the Olympics and it would just be like one event and you wouldn't get to see anything else? Like, there's other things that are happening right at that moment, but you can only see curling or you can only see the figure skating. It's like this is so perfect when it comes to Olympic competition viewing. The Gold Zone is. Now, of course, on Peacock, you can choose any event you want to watch that's live currently, which is awesome as well. But if you want everything at once, Gold Zone is the way to go. I'm not kidding. That to me is a cool invention. That was worth investing in. That was worth getting Andrew Siciliano and Chris Hansen from Red Zone to do. That was a good investment, NBC. That was a good call. That was a really good call. I didn't see it that much last Summer Olympics 2 years ago. I don't know why, but I just didn't. But this year, I've had some time and I've been watching this Winter Olympics through Gold Zone. And I would get up kind of early too and watch them because Italy is 9 hours ahead. So if you're watching like the prime time in Milan, time slot on TV, that shit's already happened. That's already happened and done. That was just pre-taped and put on TV. So if you wake up early, right, and you begin watching the Olympics at like 8 a.m., it's only like at 3 p.m. in Italy. So like they're flat out like, or no, that's like 5 o'clock in Italy. They're like in prime time, like competing still. So you're getting everything live. If you wake up even earlier, you get it even more of the daytime stuff, which is so cool to see. And if you see it on Gold Zone, you get it all at once. It's freaking cool. Like if you're a Red Zone guy, like this is like perfect for you if you also like watching the Olympics. And I love it so much. But also in more like not so happy news stuff, American skier Lindsey Vonn got seriously injured in her attempt at the alpine skiing competition. She was going into the Olympics, like I had mentioned in last week's episode, with a ruptured ACL. I was like, what's going on? Why would you do this? Anyway, I mean, she looked fine when she started, but she wiped out badly. I mean, terribly. I think she broke her leg. She had to be airlifted out. That was such a freaking bummer to see. That was terrible. Now, because she had a ruptured ACL, I would think that would have caused her to get re-injured. However, that was not the case. Her skiing pole got caught on one of those markers, and it like changed the trajectory of her jump, and she couldn't recover and just fell, wiped out. I was like, dang, bro, that freaking sucks. That's terrible. I haven't seen much of her since, if she's responded or like been interviewed since then. I mean, like, it was a pretty somber day. It was pretty depressing. If you're as old as me, as I, you know who Lindsey Vonn is. She's very attractive, for one, and two, she's been competing in the Olympics since 2004. So, like, she's been around the Olympics for more than 20 years, 22 years, in fact. You know, skiing and then the Olympics. She's a household name when it comes to the sport of alpine skiing. I mean, that was just that was hard to watch. You know, heart of a champion. Some people were like, should she even have been competing with a ruptured ACL? I mean, probably not. But I respect the commitment and I respect the will to compete. I like that. You know, maybe give up her spot to somebody who's not injured. Sure, I can see that argument as well. But I really just do respect the hustle and respect the commitment to excellence and to perform at a high level. I respect it. I really do. I do respect it. But that was sad. I don't know the medal counts. So let me Google that real quick. Last time I checked was a couple days ago. We were not doing so well. Now, I'm Googling it right now. Leading the way with 13 medals total is the country of Norway. 7 gold medals, 2 silver, 4 bronze. Then in second place, with 12 medals total, is the United States with 4 gold medals, 6 silver medals, and 2 bronze medals. Then third place is Italy with 13. Well, that's kind of weird. Why are they third? Well, they're third apparently. They have 4 gold medals, 2 silver, 7 bronze. Maybe that's why. Then Switzerland has 7 total medals, 4 gold, 1 silver, 2 bronze. Germany, 3 gold, 2 silver, 2 bronze. So that is the standings of the top 5 so far at this moment of recording. No shocker, really, at number 1. It would be Norway. They live in a freaking frozen tundra. I mean, of course they're going to be good at freaking everything winter over there. Skiing, freaking skating, luge, snowboarding, alpine, skiathlon, that type of crap. Like, I mean, it should have been expected, right? I mean, of course it would be good at that. How would they not be? I mean, like, hey, we have deserts in our country. We're not going to be that great. We have places where it's hot. Norway, you're all freaking frozen. Of course you're good. And then I think, where was it? Let me see. Were they on there? Sweden is 7th place. Italy, you know, surprisingly, Italy is pretty good. They're in 3rd place. And then 4th place is Switzerland. 5th place is Germany. You know, but, you know, Sweden, 7th place. Where's Finland? Finland is in last place. They have 1 bronze medal. Are you kidding? Wow. That's weird. Because they're like right there. They're right by Norway and Sweden. Like, how would they only have 1 medal? That makes no sense. But you know what? Also, this medal count does solidify. United States are the best losers. We have 7 silver medals. No one even has... Oh, we have 6 silver medals. My bad. No one else has 6. The other country that's close to that is Austria with 5. But we are the kings of losers. Now, you're probably thinking like, well, silver medal's good. No, silver medal is the first loser. Silver medal is not good. Bronze, okay, you're the 3rd best. Second place is you're the first loser. Sorry. That to me is much more worse. Silver is worse than bronze in that aspect. It is. I would not want a silver medal. I would not want a silver medal. I would accept a bronze. I would not want a silver medal. We are like the kings of the losers. We're the best right now. We are the best losers. So we could be better. I expect us to actually win these Olympics. There's still a lot more competition to go. But yeah, it's been fun to watch for the most part. Last thing before I get out of here is I guess you could say mid-season review of a new show I've been watching. It's on HBO and Max. It's called A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It is a Game of Thrones spin-off show. And I know what you're thinking. Game of Thrones, yeah, great show. And then it was ruined by season 8. I understand the hesitancy. I understand the concerning, being concerned about it. But I am 4 episodes into the show, and I absolutely love A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I think it's incredible. I love the character building, the character development of the main characters in Sir Duncan the Tall, his squire Egg, the other characters that he meets along his journey, the world building, the fact that it's such a small story. It doesn't need kings, it doesn't need lords, it doesn't need hands to the king, it doesn't need White Walkers, it doesn't need Winterfell, it doesn't need Casterly Rock, it doesn't need any of that. It just needs a show with good characters, good character development, and a good story. And it has that. And it's doing so well for such a small show that you can't even the fact that the show itself does not call back to anything that we're familiar with, really, that has repercussions in the future, because this show, I believe, is 100 years before Game of Thrones, the show, takes place. There was not even any mention 100 or so years before Game of Thrones, right? I mean, that's not even in this at all. House of the Dragon had that. House of the Dragon from the start made it very clear that this is this many years before the events of Game of Thrones, before Jon Snow, right? This has none of that. This is a complete offshoot, not having to deal with anything House of the Dragon or Game of Thrones. And it's absolutely wonderful. It's tremendous. The show is tremendous. I believe that there's 2 episodes left, and I'm still buzzing after the 4th episode. It's incredible. It's amazing. It's so good, but it's so simple. It's such a simple story, but it's told in such a well way, and every character that you meet along the way that has an impact on this dude Sir Duncan the Tall's journey is so memorable and is so impactful to the events of the show, where it's none of their appearances and none of the things that they say is a throwaway. It's truly great writing and great execution. The guy who plays Duncan the Tall, dude, is such a cool dude. He plays that character of being naive, being kind of goofy, but having a heart of gold so well that it's infectious. When he talks, he really does mean what he's saying. He's a likable dude. He's kind of like a regular dude in a way. He's rootable. He's got a kind heart. It's just everything you want in a show, and a true hero's journey. It's great to see. It's just yes, this is so good for now. it is still a part of the Game of Thrones universe, so they could pull a fast one and just inject some stupid evil crap in there or unnecessary smut, right? To make it pop and to make it, hot and um, people talk about this because of, it's so inappropriate or whatever. It's like so evil or so unexpected. Like the red wedding. Sorry, like in the red wedding in Game of Thrones, right? Spoiler alert: tragic event, killing half of the Starks. Um, but it was very like, ooh, shocking, right? There's none of that here so far. It's just pure good, and it's wonderful to see. It really is. If you have been on the fence about this show, I can totally see why. I 100% could totally see why you would be on the fence about this. 4 episodes in, I believe there is 2 more left. They're not even that long. I think the max runtime was like 40 minutes. It's nice, compact, to the point, and also impactful. That I think that you should give it a watch. If you haven't, maybe if you've thought about it, and you're like, I don't know, season 8 is still traumatic. At least watch up until episode 4. You are gonna be like, oh yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted. This is what I needed. This is some good fantasy right now. This is some really, really good fantasy. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Dude, I'm telling you, this is some really, really good fantasy right now. Check it out. If you haven't, I highly recommend. All right, that's going to be it for me today, people. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember, you can find this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. New episodes drop every Thursday morning. Make sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, and do all that good stuff. And yes, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I will see you guys next week.